some recent polling as we get closer to into the summer, the election months. Even Donald Trump during these trials taking the time he can to get out on the campaign trail, at least every Wednesday, and even trying to do campaign events in New York City after the trial, meeting with leaders, going by firehouses, trying to do some normal political events, and then, of course, on the weekends as well, and trying to raise money because the Democrats are raising a lot of money as well. And we're starting to see polls come out that are pretty interesting amongst different groups. And the first one we wanted to kind of look at, I think, Logan, was Catholic voters. Now, this is important because Catholic voters in the last election cycle favored President Biden. It was about, I think, 55% of Catholic support. Let's say 45% of Catholics supported Biden in the same one-on-one pairing this year. But he previously, in 2020, they preferred Biden 67 to 26. I mean, it was almost 70-30 Catholic voters to President Biden.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Who is Catholic?
I think that's true. It is Catholic, and honestly, let's say even pre-Obama years, but even more recently, took some more historically Catholic positions. But he has taken a lot of those back over the last 4 years as he's rolled out much more. He was one of the ones who was sort of a pro-life Democrat for a good portion of his career,
right,
and now has gone to the far end of the extreme on that to satisfy the left base.
Yeah, I'd say he did a lot of the social justice that's still part of the Catholic Church, even the evangelical Catholic Church, but with the pro-life view. And he was pretty hard, like you say, hardcore pro-life.
It was like his baby.
Most of his Senate career. And then this breaks it down even more, though. So early on, the poll found there was 55% of Catholic support. Now we're leaning towards President Trump in a head-to-head match. But when you start looking at in a one-on-one pairing, only 45% of Catholics support President Biden. But when you start looking at Hispanic Catholics, this is where the lead kind of starts to shift and narrow. Biden only leads among Hispanic Catholics 49 to 47%. That is a tie. In 2020, Hispanic Catholics preferred Biden to Trump 67 to 26%.
Yeah, that is a giant
How
swing.
can President Biden, and we know there's going to be more Hispanic voters probably in this cycle than there were 4 years ago, just because there's going to be more people turning 18, 19, 20. There's going to be more,
Yeah, as society moves forward, that's just going to be how it is.
So if that number holds, that is very troubling for President Biden, and that's across the country. That's not like just, a lot of those voters are in California, which will go blue anyways, and Texas, which will go red anyways. These are how you not only win states, Logan, but you also, where you've got new workforces, you've got immigrant populations, places like the Rust Belt, where people who are coming to the country and are working those jobs no one else will, are not necessarily just on the border states or states, they're in purple states, hardworking states. And so shifts like that went from basically tied or Joe Biden with a 10, 15-point lead to Donald Trump with a almost 70% lead amongst those voters, when he's the one saying secure the border, when he's the one saying shut it down, and it's Joe Biden who thinks he's going to get those voters by saying we want to let everyone in. But these are American citizens that are Hispanic Catholic voters. These are not non-citizen Hispanic Catholics.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of calls coming in actually related to that poll that came out, and we want to break that down. Let's first go to Oscar, who's calling in California Online 1. Oscar, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi. I always hear you guys. I love your show, number one show. Yeah, I just wanted to say that we need Trump badly because look at all these Democrats are doing. I mean, all the disgrace, the border, and these colleges and stuff. We need to get rid of Obama and Biden. And, it's just so much bad going on. And the Hispanics, I want to say, let's go, vamos, votemos por Trump. We need a 911 emergency.
Yeah, listen, when you say Obama, it's true to so much extent because so many of the people in this administration, they just moved up a step.
Yeah, I'd say
they got the next job.
More extreme Obama.
Yes, because these were the mid-level staff.
Trying to pretend to play to the whole country.
He was a better politician than Joe Biden, obviously. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are. And he had more control over his staff.
Yeah.
Obviously. You never felt like Obama wasn't running things because he was young and he was very involved. He was kind of like a Clinton style.
Yes.
and a Trump style, very involved. Joe Biden, you feel like, is just getting talking points and reading them and doesn't even know what's going to be on them until he gets them.
Which is why he contradicts himself, and he'll say something that he is in favor of, and then, of course, his official position is the other way around. Let's go to Carmen, who's calling in California. Online 2, welcome, Carmen.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. Hi, my name's Carmen. I'm calling from California. I am a Mexican American citizen. My concern is here that I want to know. I have been seeing everything. I used to be a former Democratic. Years ago, I converted, and I'm supporting more Trump since somebody woke up my eyes several years ago. The thing is that we have a lot of like our Mexican backgrounds, like our families, our parents that aren't English speaking or that don't understand what's going on. My question is, with all these events happening that are harming our country, right? What is the Republican Party doing differently to avoid what happened or what we believe happened in 2020? Because I have families that work in the polls that recently, and like my 2 family members, and they told me that it's chaos. There's really no control. So my concern is, what can we do so that we can win this time around?
Well, I think, listen, you're in a tough state to win for President Trump, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily in a district that's not going to be very important that determines the outcome of the House of Representatives and your state government as well. So you want to get out the vote. You don't want to say, well, just because it's going to be tough to win California, I shouldn't go vote. The other news is, I know under the Bush years at the RNC, there was a huge investment into Spanish language Republican advertising, but also staff that would go out. And the same director of that worked inside the RNC, I know, and the White House for President Trump. So I'm assuming that they did still spend the resources. They might not have gotten the same kind of attention because of his perceived anti-Hispanic, like the words he used, the way he came, and like you've got a lot of these leftist Hispanic groups that would keep these Republican Hispanics out, like La Raza and those.
But you had our friends, like I forget his name right now off the top of my head, but we had him a bunch of times on, who started like the Lexit, like the Latino exit of voters to become more conservative leaning, who was there supporting conservative candidates all around the country. So we're seeing that. I think you're seeing that in your local communities too, when you have these conversations. It's not, look, I feel like that it's not just like that.
National advertising that if you mostly watch Hispanic television, you will start seeing closer to the elections. But if you're in states where it's close, if you're in California, you might not. But if you're in states where it's close, like Florida or any place where, or even in a community that's got a big Hispanic vote, so you could be just in a area of a state with a large Hispanic vote, you'll start seeing the Republican ads for Trump in Spanish.
Daniel, got just a few seconds, running out of time.
He's been on the call.
But it really does time up with what we're doing here at the ACLJ, so go ahead.
Hello, my name is Daniel Silos. I'm coming from Riverside County, California, and I'm Latino Hispanic. My feedback is this: Trump is winning over the Latino vote. Right here in Southern California, I'm a key voice and ambassador for Lexit California, which is Latino exiting the Democrat Party. And I'm a founding father for California chapter of LUCA, which is Latinos United for Conservative Action. I've been doing a lot of grassroots action, a lot of voter outreach. And I want to say the Latino community is waking up. The Democrat Party is not Hispanic values, and the Hispanic values are conservative values. And that's all. Thank you, ACLJ.
Hey, thank you, Daniel. And I absolutely agree with you. I mean, if you're going to look at what party, they never line up 100%, but if you're going to look at what party lines up more with the values of what we know in the Hispanic community, it's way more the Republican Party. It's just the Democrat Party has sold that Republicans somehow don't like immigrants, and that is just not the truth. Most of us who make up in the Republican Party come from families who are immigrants to the United States. I mean, it's not like we're all from the Mayflower. And that's how the Republican Party is still portrayed, like it's all a bunch of Mayflower. But I mean, we're half the country, at least. And a lot of immigrants, more and more coming to the party every year. But the election is only 6 months away, and what's important is that you defend election integrity, and those voters who are Hispanic in those communities don't feel like it's dangerous if they go and vote Republican because they'll somehow be exposed in their community, or that's going to hurt their job or hurt their position or their kids or affect them somehow negatively. So we know that states and localities are making election changes that confuse people. They legalize ballot harvesting. They ban voter ID. They force mail-in ballots. They change the dates. change the times. We are fighting back, and we need you to sign our petition to defend election integrity at aclj.org/sign. Join that petition today. We've launched a major nationwide effort. It's been ongoing to support your right to vote.